Hi everyone, Ohayo gozaimasu. Welcome! This channel is for Japanese learners of English. Kiyomo shadowing no lesson wo yarakimashou. Listen to today's real native conversation. Focus on the rhythm and shadow along. Practice daily to master tango, bunpao, hatsuan, and rhythm. Repeat and try again tomorrow if needed. Zehi. Channel no toroku wo onegai shimasu. Okay, are you ready? Here we go.
Ever wonder what really makes us choose one thing over another? You know, that one thing that seals the deal?
Yeah, that deciding factor, the thing that pushes you ultimately towards one choice. What is that?
Exactly. So how do we pinpoint that in English? Well, there are many ways to express that pivotal moment, really.
Right. Not just one way, huh? It's kind of nuanced, depending on the situation.
Exactly. Like in a business context, you might use deciding factor. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, that's a good one. Simple, clear, and professional, right?
Yeah. Like, what was the one thing that made you sign the contract? You'd say the competitive pricing was the deciding factor.
And that just makes perfect sense. Easy to understand in that setting.
For sure, but what about less formal settings, when you're just chatting with someone?
Then you could use what tipped the scales. That's a fun way to say it.
Yeah, that's great. It makes it sound like there was a balance and something just tilted it one way or the other.
Right. Like if you were choosing between two cars and the leather seats, that's what tipped the scales.
That's a great example. So what else have you got?
Well, there's what clinched it. That's kind of similar. It implies that final detail that sealed the deal.
Makes it sound like the last piece of the puzzle, right? So it's not just a push, it's the final puzzle piece, right?
Exactly. It's the thing that makes the decision inevitable, that aha moment, almost.
I see. Like if you are on the fence about a job and then you hear about the amazing benefits, you say, that just clinched it.
That's a great use case, something you just can't ignore. So that's a clincher.
So we've got deciding factor, what tipped the scales, and what clinched it. Any others?
Well, you could also ask, what made you decide to... More of a question, but it gets to the same point.
True. It's not just about a thing, but also the process or the reason.
Yeah, like what made you decide to move to that city? You're asking about the thought process.
Exactly. And that is a great way to start a conversation too, right?
Yeah, it is. Now, what about that moment, that specific thing that changes the entire game, the one that leads to something?
You mean like a game changer?
Exactly. The game changer, as you put it. It's kind of like that unexpected thing that just completely shifts the landscape.
Like in a business deal, you are considering a deal, but then you hear about the technology being used, and you are sold.
Yeah. That tech detail, in that scenario, becomes the game changer for you.
You know, it's funny how sometimes we can be close to a decision, but it has that one small thing that pushes us over the edge.
I know, right? And it's different for each person, depending on their priorities and preferences.
It makes you wonder what the real drivers behind our choices are.
Yeah, is it just logic or more about emotion?
I bet it's a mix of both, and that's why these expressions for the deciding factor come in handy.
Right, because they allow you to explore those deeper reasons.
So we've covered lots of good ways to say deciding factor in English. From the very formal to more casual, we covered them.
Yeah, not just one size fits all. It is about how you want to sound and what you want to get across.
All right, we've finished today's lesson. How did you find it? 理解できない部分はありませんでしたか? Repeat and try again tomorrow if needed. Please let me know your kansa or request in the comments. ぜひチャンネルの登録をお願いします. I look forward to seeing you all again soon. See you next time. Bye bye.